the Shield, we have a recap of all the events that took place on MLK Day.
From the opening ceremony to the ending ceremony and everything in between, we have it all. Today is Wednesday, January 25th, 2012. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ricky Cody.
And I'm Katie Blaze. Martin Luther King Jr. Day marked its 26th year as a nationally observed holiday in the U.S.
And while classes were suspended here on campus, students were encouraged to participate in the numerous on-campus MLK Day activities. We went out to capture the many events that took place as Valparaiso celebrates a continuing legacy. Valparaiso University celebrated the 23rd annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. More than 1,000 people attended the opening convocation. This year, the audience was asked to reflect on MLK as an activist and remember the issues he stood for. This year, the speaker was Tim King, CEO and founder of the Urban Prep Academies in Chicago. King spoke about remembering the sacrifices that came from the ones before us. He reminded the audience that our work today is not for today, but for the future. VUTV correspondent Steph Hoving sat down with Mr. King.
Urban Prep opened its doors in 2006, and we had our first graduating class in 2010. And I'm really proud to say that 100% of those students were admitted to four-year colleges and universities. And our second graduating class, the 2011 class, met the same mark, and 100% of them were also admitted to college. So I have had a great time on my trip here to Valpo. I've been able to see a couple of places on the campus, and it's been terrific. I'm excited to be here, but I'm more excited about the fact that my students had an opportunity to be there. About 40 Urban Prep students came out to Valpo today and are touring the campus and meeting with the admissions office and meeting with students, current students here, and that's terrific. That's really what it's all about. So I'm sure they'll be even more impressed by the university than I've been.
University President Mark Heckler was thrilled for how the opening convocation went and had this to say to VUTV.
He was just fantastic. I mean, he had a powerful message. He was able to tie it back to Dr. King's principles and his messages, and then he also, by his own life, is leading by example. And so it was, to me, the perfect kind of speech, inspiring, but then also action-oriented, and he's just talking about things that are important for students today to hear.
After the opening convocation, students were treated to a culturally diverse cuisine in the Hari Ballroom. There, students were allowed to ask Mr. King questions before moving about the rest of the day for the many focus sessions that were available to take part in. There were plenty of focus sessions that students were able to attend. VUTV sat in on two of them. The first was entitled, Will It Get Better? The session was an empowering one to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. The session highlighted videos that showed that bullying in high school should not get them down. Videos include the project founder, Dan Savage, along with his husband, telling their stories about making it through adolescence and eventually moving on to having a family. A video from former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and transsexual activist, Kate Bornstein, wrapped up this focus session. The audience was so big that the event had to be moved from the Brown and Gold Room to Ballroom A in the Hari Union.
After that, VUTV went to the Broward Museum of Art. The event was called Other State, an artist talk by Claudette Roper. Now, Roper talked about her video installation. The project is a documentary-style piece where 40 different African Americans were interviewed about their lives, being black and its impact on their lives. After this, the discussion was then led to the struggles African Americans face in education. Now, these were only two sessions out of a large number that students were encouraged to attend. To wrap up the kickoff celebration for the final presentation of the day, another guest speaker was invited to end the day's events. Shield News correspondent Grace Luke was there for the final presentation.
Here at the Christopher Center, Iris Chen just wrapped up her lecture on education in America. One big topic brought up in her speech was how to balance fixing our economical and educational standings at the same time in parallel ways. Another topic brought up in her speech was how we as a nation are trying to increase the percentage of young children and teens in big cities trying to graduate high school and college. When I asked her what her opinion was the biggest difference in the education process between our nation and foreign nations, she said that social structure definitely plays a key role, but also how the parents and teachers deliver knowledge to the children makes them react to schooling and higher education.
Grace Luke attempted to speak with Miss Chen after the ceremony, but was unable to as she had to rush off to catch her plane. And Katie, you know what's interesting is that at this university that we're allowed to celebrate MLK Day, but also know that his message was so much more. Being a freshman and being required to go, it wasn't even a requirement. It was that I learned so much more about him and his message than I ever did, because we're so used to MLK Day, you know, being off and all these other things, but his message and what he stood for was worth so much more in terms of education.
Exactly, and I'm so thankful that we actually attend a university that puts so much value on celebrating the life of this great
Just
man.
amazing.
Yes. Well, plenty of snow fell late last week. Is there any more in sight? Meteorologist Rachel Dunsing will have all your important Valpo weather forecasts. Stay tuned.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh la.
We say what we want Thursday nights at 7 p.m. only on VUTV. Welcome back to the Shield. Late last week, 6.5 inches of snow fell across much of the area, and then Sunday night into Monday, we had thunderstorms in the Valpo area. Storm Shield meteorologist Rachel Dunsing joins us. And Rachel, are we expecting to see any more of that wacky winter weather this week?
Well, compared to last week, this week is actually going to be relatively calm and not very exciting. Not a whole lot of winter weather is expected in our forecast. Those thunderstorms that we talked about that formed Sunday night and into Monday were actually caused because of an upper level system, obviously in our upper atmosphere. The latest count from the Storm Prediction Center is that 25 tornadoes that formed from that line of storms affected much of the southern area, including parts of Arkansas, southern Indiana, and even parts of Mississippi and Alabama. Here in the Valpo area, we didn't experience much more than some lightning and thunder and even a little bit of rain, so nothing too severe that was in our area. However, for the remainder of this week, we are expecting a warm front to come through our area today. You can see it right now in our Futurecast sitting to my south, and as it makes its way through, we are going to experience a slight warm-up in temperatures. Thursday, you can see it has already passed through my graphic, but we do have a cold front starting to move in on the area, and as it moves in Thursday night and into Friday, those temperatures are going to start cooling down even as we head into Saturday. And Saturday, because those cooler temperatures, we can actually experience, expect to see a few snow flurries as we head into the weekend. Tonight, our low is expected to be 28 degrees with winds coming out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. That southerly flow is going to help fuel those warmer temperatures that we will be experiencing the next few days, but overall, a relatively calm evening. And tomorrow, our high will be 40 degrees, so once again, we are experiencing a warm-up in temperatures, so that is very exciting. Winds, once again, coming out of the south, so we're going to remain warm for the next few days. Partly sunny, but nothing too exciting expected out of our weather for the next few days. However, as we head into the weekend, things might change, but nothing too drastic. Thursday and into Friday, we can expect to see highs of actually about the same, around 40 degrees. Saturday, a cold front will start to come into our area, so we can experience a high of 33 degrees and a low of 19, and we can experience a chance of snow throughout Saturday. But even as we head into Sunday, those temperatures are going to continue to drop with a high of only 28. But as we head back into Monday, the start of your work and school week, temperatures are going to rise just a little bit, but only to about 34.
So 80s are not in the horizon anytime soon?
No, not anytime soon.
Dang it. I wish you could give us some more warmer and some better news, but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, well,
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
Thanks, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to the Shield. Valparaiso's men's basketball team is currently tied for first place with Cleveland State. With more on that, plus all your Crusader sports, we send it over to Jeff Larson at the sports desk. Jeff?
Thanks, Ricky. The men's basketball team was in Chicago over the weekend, taking on a pair of Chicago natives. First, on Thursday, they took on the Loyola Ramblers. The Crusaders trailed for only 30 seconds at the beginning of the game and then exploded, going up by as many as 26 as the Crusaders cruised to a 69-48 victory. Jay Harris led with a game-high 18 points and 5 assists. Ben Boggs and Vike put up 14 points apiece, and Ryan Brokoff added 13 points. Saturday, they went back to the Windy City to take on the UIC Flames. Picking it up in the first half, Sammy Sutter hits the three to tie the Crusaders at 22. Then with time winding down in the first half, Gary Talton hits the jumper to give the Flames a 2-point lead at halftime. In the second half, Gary Talton again scores after being fouled by Will Bogan. He would hit a free throw to give the Flames a 41-40 lead. Then Ryan Brokoff steals it from Hayden Humes and throws it down to give Valpo a 9-point lead at the 7-minute mark. But the Flames responded late in the second half. Mark Brown answers with a three to cut that Crusader lead to 2. But it would be too late after Matt Kenny hits both free throws as the Crusaders hang on to win 60-55. Kevin Van Vyk led with a game-high 20 points, with Jay Harris adding 13 off the bench and Ryan Brokoff putting in 12 points of his own. For UIC, Gary Talton led the way with 12 points. It is jam-packed in the standings. Just 3 games separate first from 7th place, as the Crusaders and the Cleveland State Vikings are in a tie for first place at 7-2. Butler, Youngstown State, and Milwaukee just sit a game behind, with Detroit not far behind in 3rd place. The men will conclude their 4-game road trip in Wisconsin when they take on Green Bay on Thursday and Milwaukee on Saturday. From the men to the women's team, they look to get back on the winning side. They were also in Chicago. Thursday, they took on the Loyola Ramblers. An early second-half urge factored for the Ramblers as they cruised to a 86-56 victory over the Crusaders. Loyola's Abby Scooby had a game-high 24 points, going 4 of 6 from three-point land, while Simone Law added 16 points and 6 rebounds. For the Crusaders, Gina Lang had a career-high 17 points, with Ashley Timmerman putting in 12 points and Tabitha Gerardo adding 11 points and 8 rebounds. Saturday, they look to shake that loss off and split the Chicago series against the UIC Flames. Early in the first half, Shemaya Green hits the three to put the Flames up 12. Then with time winding down in the first half, Taylor Folks nails the three to give the Flames a 13-point halftime lead. Then in the second half, Jasmine Bailey cleans up Kiara Strickland's missed jumper to push that Flames lead to 18. Then Kiara Strickland makes up for that miss with a layup off the turnover, and that would be it as the Flames cruise over the Crusaders 54-43. Jasmine Bailey had a game-high 19 points and 13 rebounds, with Kiara Strickland adding 16 points and Shemaya Green putting in 14 points off the bench. For the Crusaders, Ashley Timmerman was the only player in double figures. She put in 14 points, with Ashley Varner adding 8 points and 11 rebounds. Valparaiso is sitting at the bottom of the division in a tie with Milwaukee at 1-6, but Green Bay is continuing to win as they remain in first place, undefeated, sitting 2 games ahead of Wright State and Detroit, and 2.5 games ahead of UIC. The Crusaders return home this weekend as the Wisconsin teams come to town on Thursday and Saturday. Milwaukee comes to town at 7:05 on Thursday, and first place Green Bay on Saturday at 1:35. Finally, some exciting news from the men's soccer team. Not only did they become the first Crusader team to win a Horizon League regular season title, but they got 1 player drafted into the MLS. Center back Stefan Antonijevic became the first Crusader in the team's history to be selected in the MLS supplemental draft. He was taken by Sporting Kansas City in the 3rd round of the supplemental draft. Stefan played 3 years with the Crusaders, earning All Horizon League second team in his first 2 years, and then this season earned Defensive Player of the Year as well as first team All Horizon League and to the NSCAA All Great Lakes Region First Team. That's it from the Sports Desk. I'm Jeff Larson. Katie, back to you.
That is all the news for now. I'm Katie Blaze.
And to get on-demand VUTV programming, visit youtube.com/ValpoVUTV. For all of us here at VUTV, I'm Ricky Cody. Thanks for watching. Good night.